Good morning everyone. Today, Christine and I will be discussing about the decision making and advertising. These are the objectives, able to describe and points out the meaning of decision making and advertising. Can practice or perform and manage the decision making and advertising. Can operate quickly, accurately, and recognize one's limitation in decision making and advertising. What is decision making? Consumer decision making refers to the process under which consumers go through in deciding what to purchase, including problem recognition, information searching, evaluation of alternatives, making the decision, and post-purchase evaluation. So, the consumer will decide unsa ilahang paliton or unsa ilahang buhaton kung mamalit sila ana. So there are 5 decision dimension. One is what to buy. So diri as a consumer magkuan ta unsa atong paliton. Decide ta unsa man atong paliton. Dayon number 2 is how much to buy. So pila ka buok atong paliton. Nga maka example magpalitag kanang sudan. So ato dyan ng kuan og pila atong paliton nga makaigo sa isak semana. Where to buy. So asa ta mupalit sa products. Asa nga store or asa nga lugar. Number 4 is when to buy. Kanus-an nimo paliton ang usa ka product. Number 5 is how to buy. So unsa man nimo, cash ba or credit card ang imong gamiton. So there are 4 models or views of decision making. So, an economical view or model. According to this model, it is also possible to make number of predictions about the behavior of buyers in terms of the price effect, income effect, and substitution effect. So, ang consumer ani nga model is nag-compare siya sa mga products or nag-evaluate siya sa benefits of disadvantage of product. Then pagkahumanda niya, ay hard din siya mo-purchase or mag-decide unsa iyang paliton o na-collect na niya ang ka-collect siya information. Then number 2 is a passive view or model. Portrays the consumer as someone who is basically carried away by the promotional and self-oriented efforts of the marketer. So kani nga view model, ang consumer ani nag-evaluate lang siya depende sa giun sa pag-promote sa marketers ang product. So diha dayon maka-decide din siya nga mopalit ana. Nagdepende na siya kung giun sa pag-promote sa marketers. Number 3 is a cognitive view model. The cognitive view, consumers are involved in an information seeking and processing method. So kani siya ang best nga model sa upat. Ang consumer, gamay sila decision on the basis of their own interest and understanding of the market demand, and not according to their rational needs or promotional efforts of the marketers. So, ang number 4, an impulsive or emotional view of consumer. So, another aspect of consumers' decision making is that they can be emotional or impulsive while taking purchase decision. Kani siya is, ang consumer is last time to think whether yung gipalit is necessary sa para sa ilaha or daily. Emotional siya. Para atong i-discuss ni Joy the previous topic. Next. Consumer decision-making process. So, the buying process begins when consumer recognize an unsatisfied need. Then they seek information about how to satisfy the need or want. Products might be useful and how they can be bought. So there are 3 consumer decision-making process and Christine will discuss it.
So there are three types of consumer decision-making process. First is the extended problem solving. This is a purchase decision process in which customers devote considerable time and effort to analyzing alternatives. So this happens when they are making a buying decision to satisfy an important need or when they have little knowledge about the product, and because of risk, customers go beyond their knowledge and consult a friend or experts. Second one is the limited problem solving. So this is a purchase decision process involving a moderate amount of effort. This is when the customer have some prior experience with the product and the risk of the product is moderate. In these situations, consumers or customers rely more on personal experience than external information. And the third one is the habitual decision making. So this is a purchase decision process involving little or no conscious effort. So this type of process happened when the decision is not very important to customers and involve the familiar merchandise they bought in the past. Example of habitual decision making is the brand loyalty. 'Di ba kung naa jud kay salig ana nga brand, dito na jud ka magbalik-balik. So that is an example of habitual decision making. More bitaw habit na lang nimo nga dito ra ka magpalit kay kanang gasalig na kaana nga product. So inana ang habitual decision making. Next is the influences on consumer buying decisions. So there are four types of social-cultural. So first one is the rule influences. This is a set of characteristics and expected social behavior based on the expectations of others. So this is so for example of this is a woman, because a woman can be a housewife and a buyer at a supermarket, because as a buyer she will take the buying decision. So, di ba murag tradisyon naman gid nga ang bai ang mamalit para sa mga panginahanglan sa balay, kay murag siya ang more on kakuan sa mga buying decisions. Next one is the reference groups. A group to which we belong or which is used for comparison purposes. Third one is the social class. Consists of similar people in terms of income, occupation, lifestyles, interests, and behaviors. So social class, there are ranked according to social classes such as upper class, middle class, and lower class. And since people are ranked, people of the same social class have similar attitude, values, and possession, and the marketers target their products to a particular social class. And last one is the culture, the accumulation of values and beliefs, rules of behavior, transmitted behavioral patterns, forms of expression, and the like for a group of people who share a common language and environment. So cultural influence, for example, is that, for example of these are the Muslims. Diba, if they are going to buy a food in a market, they only eat or buy foods or products with a halal logo. And of course, so this is an example of cultural influence. Next part is the customer's level of involvement with the product. So there are two types, the high involvement products and the low involvement products. The first one, the high involvement products, are products include car, house, land, tractor, and etc. So this is a product on which it has a high price like TV and such products that you can't buy daily, and you evaluate or you are going to choose wisely on which product to purchase, because you can only you can use it for a long time. Yeah. Second one is the low involvement products, the daily routine and products like tea, sugar, toothpaste, salt, chocolate, and etc. So the low involvement products are what you buy mostly or daily with a low price, and because of the low involvement products, it will be difficult to differentiate between the brands of the same product available in the market. So for example, magpalit ka og asin. Kung sa market lang ka nang marabitag daily nimo siya ginapalit or unsa kay wala nakakabalo unsay brand anang asin. As long as makapalit ka og asin okay na siya, inana ang low involvement sa customer. Next is the advertisement rule in consumer decision making. So, advertisement is an important channel that each advertiser uses to communicate their product to consumers. So, consumers are the target of advertisers every day through TVs, newspapers, radio, social media, and etc. So, it is a source of information for the consumers. So, the advertisers started to look in each detail of consumers' journey in buying a product or a service so they can be able to find when and how they should approach the consumer. So, advertisers also study consumers' behavior so that they can get their reaction and feedback towards the sold product, and by understanding these feedbacks, advertisers will be able to create more effective advertising for better targeting and message to the consumer. Now, let's proceed to the types of advertisement. So, there are 8 types of advertisement. So, first is the informational advertising, one of the rational advertising approaches. So, this is a product-oriented advertisement, meaning this advertisement focuses more on showing off the characteristics of a product. For example, you need a product where it can remove stains. So, you need to look for a product on where it has a characteristics that can remove stains. For example, of this product is Zonrox or any fabric detergent. The second one is the transformational advertising. Transformational advertising considered as an irrational advertising. So, this type of advertising focuses on the consumer more than the product. So, this form of advertisement tries to create a unique experience to consumer that will look like they need it or want it. So, this type of advertisement focuses on the brand. For example of this is the brand names of Nike and Apple. So if they release or they launch a new product or series, they will connect it to the name of the brand, because building trust using the brand name behind a product is one of the key factors in this type of advertising and can lead to a better sale because the consumers trust the brand of the product. So, the third one is the advertisement effect on consumer behavior. So, this type of advertisement, it tracks the consumer's behavior in order to be able to influence their decision-making process. So, meaning they will seek behind influencing consumers and make them buy a product in the first place. So, the fourth one is the advertisement rule in problem recognition. So, the phase when the consumers realize their needs and look for satisfying needs. So, usually this happens when a consumer realizes that they are dissatisfied by their current state in any basic needs. For example, is the need to buy a car or a motorcycle, because when you buy a car or motorcycle, it will make your life easier in traveling, and you want a better life and will give you a sign of social level. The fifth one is the fifth one, I think. Yeah, the fifth one is the advertisement rule in information search. So this finds all the required information to help in solving his problem. So in this phase, the advertisers focuses on how their product will help a consumer solve his or her problem. Next, the sixth one is the advertisement effect on evaluating alternatives. This continues the cycle stage in which a consumer keeps going forward and back between them before making the purchase decision. So this type of advertisement doesn't only compare how a product is satisfying his needs against other product, because consumers usually have other factors that take part in comparing process like the brand name or on how the product would contribute to consumers. For example, is you are going to buy a shoe between the core value of the product versus the irrational advertisement of the product. For example, if a shoe product is a Nike brand and an unbranded shoe. Diha na dayon mosulod ang imong evaluation between sa duha ka sapatos. Kung dito ka magpalit sa branded that will look you stylish or kanang makaangat ka or social something, or you will buy a shoe that just can protect your feet and makes you walk comfortably. So, diri nimo siya mabutang ang decision making sa advertisement rule in evaluating alternatives. So, next one is the advertisement rule in purchase decision. So, a consumer shall have a well-defined idea about what exactly the product he wants to buy. So, this phase can be interrupted if the consumer received negative feedback through social media or a friend who has experience with such a product. So, di ba kung magpalit ka na nga product, dayon nag-ingon din mong friend or nakay nakita sa social media nga na something ana, di ba maduduhaan man dayon ka sa pag-decide if you want to buy that product since nga nakakita ka og kanang feedback niya online or sa imong friend. The last one is the advertisement rule in post-purchase. So this aims to build a relation and loyalty between a customer and a company. So the idea of this phase of advertisement is to collect feedback about a sold product and to build a better customer service. So we all know that advertisement plays an important role in influencing consumers' decision making, and that can even create the needs and wants of the consumer. Now we have a question here based on the 6 thinking hats of Edward Bono. So we have here a white hat. Can you give us some instincts or some thoughts on how important decision making when buying?